Well, good morning. Here I am in Port Hope, Ontario at the southernmost terminus of the Ganaraska Trail. That rock right there, boom, marks the beginning of the Ganaraska Trail. We're on the shores of Lake Ontario, and this trail heads 500 kilometers north to Midland and also has a branch that heads off towards Collingwood, I believe, Blue Mountain Collingwood area, where it hooks up with the Bruce Trail. So I think the Bruce Trail in Ontario is more well known. The Ganaraska Trail, not so much. I've read a bit about it. It looks like a good trail. I want to see how far I can get in one day and maybe do a section hike of it occasionally to piece it together and eventually do the whole thing. Dream on. So today I'm starting here at Port Hope and seeing how far I can get. And so begins the Ganaraska Trail. I'm in the small town of Port Hope. I've just visited the southern terminus and the nice plaque they have there. And now we begin the hike along the Ganaraska River from Port Hope to however far we can get. And that there is my very first trail marker on the Ganaraska Trail. So the trail's in pretty good shape so far. Just heading out of town, Port Hope, except for some areas that have some deadfall. A lot of trees around here. Must have got a lot of wind. But they obviously put in some work to build bridges and things, so thanks to them for that. The Ganaraska Trail started off very pleasantly from the town of Port Hope, following the Ganaraska River for a couple kilometers. And now, as you can see there, I'm at the Highway 401, which is a fairly busy highway, and thankfully we're going under it. After that, it looks like a couple kilometers of road walking to get us out of town and up north. I don't think it's going to be the best part of the trail, but it's part of the trail nevertheless, and I want to see how much of this I can do from beginning to end. Ooh la la, check out this bridge somebody put together. How nice is that? Ha! That's some excellent craftsmanship there. Wow. Crossing this little creek here. There's the creek. Oh, and another one. Wow. They pulled out all the stops here. I love the craftsmanship here. Yeah, section of the creek froze last night. Very nice. Very nice. And we're still on trail. Look at that, eh? Wow. The trail continues. Back on some road for a while. I just went through an area called the Sylvan Glen Conservation Area. Well, there's a parking lot there anyway. Apparently we're going to see some geese. Where are they? There they are. Anyway, just past an area called the Sylvan Glen Conservation Area. And there's parking there. The gate was shut when I walked by, but it looked like it was unlocked, so you could probably still park there. It's a good place to start if you want to cut out a bunch of needless road walking after the short section of Riverwalk from Port Hope. And after Silver Glen Conservation Area, there's a section of private land where they've rerouted the trail to follow the river, a creek anyway. And that's been one of the nicest sections so far. I highly recommend doing that reroute through the bush. It doesn't look like it's as direct because it's not a straight line that the road takes, but it's a really well maintained and beautiful forest with a couple of creeks and a couple of bridge crossings. Like, kudos to the landowner who did all the work there, or whoever did it. It's a very nice area, so thank you for that. And now we're carrying on. Up the road we go. It's about 12:30, and I stopped at this gorgeous little creek here to make some lunch. Today we're having one of my favorites. It's a cold soaked couscous. It doesn't actually sound very appealing on a cold day, but it's a delicious meal. I really enjoy it. And it won't take long. I don't have to cook, and I can just keep going, keep hiking. So I'm going to get into that right now and have some lunch. Here's my bag of couscous. There's couscous, sunflowers, soup mix for flavor, some dried onion, some raisin, surprisingly. Raisin is a quick pick-me-up, and a bunch of other stuff. It's actually delicious. So I'm going to pour that into my cup here. Add some water, and we'll be good to go after it soaks for about 15 or 20 minutes. Okay, there we go. Just cover it with water right to the top of the couscous, and that'll absorb it all and be delicious in no time. It's been about 10-12 minutes, and I think this is ready to go. Couscous has absorbed most of the water. Raisins are getting plump, and I'm getting hungry. So I'm going to start chowing down on this beside this beautiful little creek. This, by the way, is the creek crossing. A cobbled together log crossing. And then it continues over on the other side there. I'm on the Ganaraska Trail just before it crosses 5th line according to the map. And the path just kind of disappears here. It was following an old railway bed back there somewhere, but that kind of petered out, and now it's a lot of overgrowth. I'm on the trail because that sign says I am, but I guess this might just be a lot of blowdown. The trail just kind of disappears here. Alright, I'm going to try and make my way through that, and hopefully it's on the other side. I think we're okay. I've come across, I got around that mess, and the trail just kind of wanders along here. I guess there used to be a fence here, and there's a crossing of sorts. I forget what those are called, but no fence now. So we just keep on plugging away. This is actually quite a nice wildernessy section of the trail compared to some of the other areas where I was on road and really clearly marked trail. This is still marked, but it looks like it's almost abandoned. Like I say, I'm at the section before it crosses 5th line, somewhere in the 12-kilometer range. There's some markings. We're still following that old rail bed from the turn of the century. There's no tracks. I mean, no, train tracks or anything. But it definitely is an elevated rail bed, and it makes walking nice. Snow's coming down now, so that's beautiful. Just adds to the mystique, eh? And we're back on the road. We're taking this for a little ways up to a place called Campbell Croft, I think it is, or in that area. So I'm warming up again. Temperature must be rising. Whew. Yeah, you gotta moderate my temperature so I don't sweat too much. Snow has stopped. Still sticking around on the ground though. And it's beautiful out here. So quiet. Haven't seen another soul on the trail. Just see the occasional car go by. But this is a lovely part of the woods, or of Ontario. Lots of farming country, I think. Quite flat. You know, not difficult to hike in terms of elevation gain. And very enjoyable. We're on Ganaraska Road, which is a full-on 80-kilometer-an-hour major artery. Not enjoying it much here. Can't wait to get off. Anyway, we're near a place called Campbellcroft, just behind me. My map says that's about 20 kilometers. My GPS says about 23. So maybe I took some side routes or I got off trail a little. Anyway, I'm going to push on and see if I can make it up to the Ganaraska Forest tonight. We'll see. Well, I think that was probably the most unpleasant 5 minutes of the whole trip. Maybe 10. Being on Ganaraska Road out there. It's really windy because it's wide open. A lot of traffic, a lot of wind, a lot of noise, and cold. So, I'm glad to be off it. Glad to be off it. And now I'm on Tinkerville Road, which is just a minor side street. It says no exit, but I'm sure they've got that figured out. So this is much more pleasant, relaxed, more like the trail that I have gotten used to today. Well, I guess it's been snowing a bit out here. Everything looks freshly covered. It's really beautiful, this Tinkerville Road / trail. I'm really feeling this part of the trail. Very rewarding. Okay, been climbing a bit on Tinkerville Road trail, and all of a sudden I came to this monstrosity. It's a big steel barrier in the bush. So it turns out that this trail here is the Oak Ridges Moraine Trail, which is kind of an east-west trail across the top of Toronto. And the Ganaraska is more of a north-south from the Lake Ontario, moving up towards Midland. Yeah, so apparently they joined forces here, and we're going to continue together. Oak Ridges Moraine Trail, Ganaraska Forest Trail, Ganaraska Trail, together for a little ways anyway. We'll see how that goes. But they really do not want any kind of ATV or snowmobile traffic on that trail, and they seem to have the funds to prevent it. Currently hiking this meandering path through the bush called Pine Grove Lane. It's a nice little forest trek. Looks more like an ATV or 4x4 path than anything. With some really fascinating markings on the trail. Let's see if I can discover some that I haven't ruined. All right, can you see that? These three-toed feet seem to continue up here. Well, I think I'm going to call it a day soon. Did about 28K today. Didn't quite make it to the Ganaraska Forest. I don't believe I made it to the Ganaraska Forest proper anyway. But it was a very good hike. It's about 4:30 in the afternoon. It's going to get dark soon, so I'm going to call it quits. Anyway, thanks for tagging along. Part 1 was a hell of a ride. A little bit chilly, but very refreshing, and just what the doctor ordered. I needed to get out. Okay, talk to you later. Bye.